first glance, all seems to be well in the small town of Lübtheen in northern Germany. But a closer look reveals it's a stronghold of the far-right NPD party. For some 15 years, top party officials have been coming here, buying houses and infiltrating clubs. The NPD has become part of the fabric of this town. Dieter Karszewski saw this happen. NPD members offered their services at the local Concordia Sports Club. They wanted to organise bowling nights as well as after-school activities for the local youth.
Their goal was to seem as normal as possible, and they've succeeded at that. Why don't you try telling your neighbours that things they see as normal are actually not good and are meant to make you look bad?
Karszewski and his friends were just able to prevent this from happening at their sports club. But the NPD still has a number of properties here, like this hotel where right-wing concerts, card tournaments and political discussions are held. They're popular events here, where 1 in 10 cast their vote for far-right parties.
That's how they polish up their image. They've arrived in the centre of society, at least here in Lübtheen.
In Lübtheen and the surrounding state of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, the NPD sells itself as a party devoted to the needs of the ordinary citizen. Their repeated success in the polls has strengthened that image. That's why NPD opponents want to see the party banned.
We hear this argument again and again, both at political events and in private discussions. What's your problem? They are, after all, a recognized political party. So it really is still necessary to point out that this party isn't like other parties.
The NPD has representation in 2 German state parliaments, Mecklenburg-Vorpommern and Saxony. They are thus eligible for state funding, which they use to finance right-wing events like here in Osnabrück. In effect, the German state is footing the bill for right-wing extremist demonstrations. Another argument in favour of banning the party.
They proscribe to and act on beliefs that we all renounce, yet they're supported by our taxes. We can't allow that to happen.
In the wake of the recently uncovered murders by a right-wing terror cell who supposedly had connections to the NPD, there have been increased calls to ban the party. Those calls have gotten louder, since claims from the government that the far-right scene is under control now appear to be false.
The way I see it, the debate about banning the NPD and how to go about it is simply a diversionary measure. We need a sweeping reform of internal security agencies at federal and regional level. But instead, they're debating whether or not to ban the NPD, despite the fact that the NSU murders wouldn't have been prevented if the NPD had been banned earlier.
Banning the NPD would remove them from the public eye. But one of their major successes to date was actually gaining public acceptance, like here in Lübtheen. In August, Stefan Kramer of the Central Council of Jews in Germany visited the town. He's critical of an NPD ban.
We shouldn't carry the prohibition proceeding in front of ourselves like a monstrance and refrain from taking other action. We need to seek political discourse. They've become, quote-unquote, true representatives in many areas because they represent the interests of the population where democratic parties haven't just failed, but have broken promises or are absent.
NPD opponents in Lübtheen want a sign from politicians that they won't give up areas like this to far-right extremists without a struggle. Banning the NPD party would be a step in the right direction.